And now, from Glasgow.
So hello, welcome to stages 60 and 61. On this video we start on the inner forearm, which is stages 1, and then the inner forearm stage 2. So as we have seen so often before, when we start a new section, our magazine contains only this one big hunk of metal. That is it. However, at the time of filming, I've just recently come off a live build where I was talking with building with the boys, and he did mention this finish, and it's something that I've thought about. He was saying that some people wanted it nice and shiny, and some people, obviously, if you make it nice and shiny, we know some people complain it's not weathered, and we're kind of both in agreement. Well, Scott's kind of in the agreement that if you look at the fact that it's got the stones on it, it is a used gauntlet, so it doesn't really want to be shiny and brand new. Personally, I'm not so bothered so long as it's consistent, and I've been finding so far that the pieces are consistent, so there's a bit of positivity, which is now a very good time to bring in stage 61. So the parts that we have for 61 is A75. I meant to say this is just called A74, and here we have a hunk of metal and we have some screws, and let me show you what I mean by the consistency. I haven't quite worked out how this is going to go, but can you see that when you put the two pieces together, you see we've got an invader. So when you put the two pieces together, they do flow. You haven't got one that's one colour and the other one's a slightly different shade. So let me take a cut. Let me very gently get rid of my invader, and then we will carry on with the build. Oh, looks like he might be going on his own. Sorry, mister. There you go, my friend. Right, so what are we going to be doing today? So first of all, we need our screws, which I will pop there. And we have received our black screws. Now they're calling these screws 1, and they call them screws 1 times 5 plus 2, so we're expecting 7. There's 3, there's 5, there's a spare 2, and we are also after a screwdriver, which, there we go, I was about to say I can't find it. So what we're doing is we're taking the piece, come on mister, please. We're turning it over, and you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lugs, 5 pins, and you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all that's going to happen is they're going to go into there like so, and these actually connect quite nicely. Sometimes what I go on about is how the parts don't quite fit together, but actually there is a little bit of a hole there. What tends to happen sometimes, the parts don't fit quite perfectly, but once you come to screw them, it pulls them all into shape. So look, you see how there's that little gap there, but when you push it in, you see how it comes together. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to screw the middle screw in first, because that's going to pull that into shape. And that's just going to go in there. Now this is metal, so this can go in nice and tight, and I'm sorry guys, let me just take a little bit of a cut, because 2 reasons. First of all, I've forgotten to do the oil, and secondly, we now have another cat that's looking at us going, oh, that looks fun, I think I want in on the act, so I am actually going to take a cut. So my apologies for that uninterrupted break. So because we're going to be putting metal screws into metal, just to help them cut the threads, we do want to put a bit of oil on. Now most modelers you will see will dip their screw into the oil, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I personally prefer a little dropper bottle, because mainly for the main reason that, look, see, there's my bottle. Oops, I've tipped it over, it's not gone everywhere. It also gives me a lot of control. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a single drop into each of the target holes, like so, and that will have the exact same effect as dipping your screw into the oil. Now, one thing that I personally feel is quite important when you're doing screws, when you're oiling screws, use an ordinary screwdriver. Not when I mean ordinary, I mean not the ratchet one that I've got, for the reason that what I want to do is I want to work that oil in. So I'm going to screw it in a few screws once it grabs, and then what I'm going to do is maybe do 2 turns forward, 1 back, and that will just help work that oil in. I may be going overkill there, but just backwards and forwards a little bit. And then, because this isn't a screwdriver that I can get in really tight, I will just finish that off with my ratchet screwdriver, which I've got the wrong way round. There we go. There we go. And that's in nice and tight, and you'll see that that gap has disappeared there. Now, what it has also done is pushed it a little bit that side, so there's a gap there. So I'm not going to go on the outside, I'm going to work my screws out from the middle. So what we'll do is we'll do the next 2 screws, and we'll do that in exactly the same way. We'll get that started, and then we'll work in and out. Okay, that's not fully in, but I'm not going to switch screwdrivers 15 times. So we'll do the next 2. Sorry, the next screw, not the next 2. And just working that in and out, it does increase your workload, but to be honest with you, I would rather work twice as much half as hard than half the time twice as hard, because my poor old hand isn't taking it anymore. It's okay for you youngsters and you guys that do the bodybuilding, but that's not me. Right, so now we've got 3 screws in, and you can see that it's gone in absolutely perfect there. The gap there is still there, but it's not as big. And then what we'll do is we'll just finish that off with our outer screws. Now, if there was an even number of screws, I would probably just put a second screw in. Sorry, I'm using the wrong screw there. So obviously I'm doing 1 and then the 2 and then the 2, but if there was an even number, I might do another screw and then work them out evenly. But essentially I'm just starting from the middle. Now I can see a big gap there, so I want to be careful, so maybe just hold that in as I put this in, and I know it will all come together at the end. It's just that with the manufacturing process, when you're making parts individually, it's very hard to get them exactly the right shape, but the process of screwing pulls them all together. Look at that. That's really good. That's not quite in yet because obviously the screwdriver that I'm using, I can't get the strength. This is a little bit more suited for electronic boards where you don't need the strength, you need the precision more. But the screwdriver that I tend to use is a ratchet screwdriver. Maybe I should invest in a different screwdriver, a good old heavy duty screwdriver that's suitable for working into metal, but I make do with this. Oddly enough, I hear people talking about these screwdrivers, this, that and the other. I've actually bought this one and it wasn't very expensive, and I do try to, sometimes I'll buy myself a new screwdriver because I think, oh, that one might be better, but I end up returning to this screwdriver. And I think what I'm saying there is, with the argument over what the best screwdriver is, the best screwdriver is the one that you enjoy using the most. Right, so look, that gap has completely gone. There's a little tiny bit of gap at the top, but I can see there's 2 screw holes there, so that's going to join in with something later on. I can see some screw holes there, so that's obviously ready to receive another piece. Down here, I would say that's 99% perfect, but again there's going to be things coming in there, so that is 2 screws in absolutely perfect. So it is the end of the pack. We have finished a component, i.e. the fingers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show off my messy desk, but I'm also going to show off all the parts that I've got. So previously I did take the index finger off because I want to do a comparison with the middle finger, and I said that I didn't think there was a lot of difference. One thing that I was thinking was, oh no, what if I put them back in the wrong place? I've just had a little play, and actually you can't see this very well, but the gap with these 2 holes there is different from these 2, so you can't actually put them back in. This finger will only go there. So this is what we built many weeks ago. This is the index finger that I believe we finished last week or the week before, and that's going in there. Does it fit? No, that's not fitting. That's interesting, isn't it? Oh wow. Okay, let's make sure I have got these in correct. Yeah, that's not going. Oh, that is going. So does that one go in there? No, that is definitely the index finger. Tell you what, this is actually a bit of a struggle. Why is that not? Ah, that is going in. Oh, I see. So it was actually the angle of this. So if this isn't that, you have to do it by the angle of this, not by the angle of the fingers. And saying that, it's not going in. That is very stiff. In fact, I'm gonna be a bit bold and say that doesn't want to fit in. Right, so then we have this plate goes, so this then comes in. We haven't officially fitted this palm yet. So this is, I mean, I say it's technically it's speculation, but it's actually not. We've also got this. Does this go? This goes somewhere, doesn't it? Does that go on there first? I can't remember how this goes. Anyway, guys, look. That is the palm. That's going to look something like that. And that's, as you can see, that's not small. I've accidentally knocked these on, look. That's the trouble with manoeuvring this round. You do catch these stones. And obviously we've got this one as well. Is that the correct number of stones? Anyway, guys, I want to move on to this piece that we've done this week. I want to have a little fiddle with it. So we've got this from previous issues. This is the gauntlet part. And obviously this is going to go on somehow. Now it's either going to go there, which I think isn't going to happen, or it's going to go there. And I think it's going... I don't know. No, I think it's going to go that way round. They're not even screw holes, are they? So maybe it's going there. This is one of the joys that I have, because it doesn't seem to want to go either. There we go. I think it's going to go on the outside. Or maybe not even either. Maybe it's going to go there, and there's still a piece in the middle to come. I don't really know. Look, yes, look, so looking at the shape of it, I think it's the opposite side to this piece here, because the width is certainly enough, which means it's probably going to go there. Anyway, look, guys, I'm waffling on too much. So this is what we've got so far. This is what we've got in this issue. And if you look at what we've got here, I think we'll probably find that we will be building this over the next few weeks. So next issue will probably be, yeah, I think this is the equivalent there. So we'll get some trim to come on the bottom to do this nice pretty bit on the bottom, and then we'll get the middle plate, and then we'll get the next side, and then we'll finish the detail. Right guys, that's it from me then. So I'll see you next week. As it stands at the moment, I have absolutely no idea what's coming in the next issue, and that's because this is the end of the pack. They don't tell you what's coming in the next issue, which is that a shame? I don't know, not knowing what's coming in the next pack. But the next pack will be with me before you see this video, and then there'll be a video next week. So take care guys, look after yourselves, and you have a good week. Bye bye.